All right, cool. Now we're going to add Adam to the call here.
All right.
Add people to this call. There he is, the man himself.
All
Add
right.
to the call. And I think it's ringing over there. So what time is it over in Spain?
About 8:30.
8:30. You guys are where, in Barcelona?
Yep. Barcelona.
Yo.
You guys to make it over here.
Yeah, we're hoping to make it over there sometime soon, too. I think we got Adam on the line now. Adam, we got you?
Yes, I'm here. You hear me?
Oh, we hear you. You guys hear us?
I hear you, Adam. We don't have a video on your end, but we hear you.
That's good. You don't want a video of my end.
No, not at this time.
We want to
Can
see you
confirm
guys
it's
all
the
fresh.
the
You
guy
guys are
with
all
the big
fresh.
beard.
Yeah, it'll just be beard and like really squinty eyes.
Tired eyes. Uh-huh.
Oh my God, so tired.
It's like the opposite. They're just like waking up to their day in Spain. We're like falling asleep and
Yeah,
it's snowing outside.
Yeah,
It's rough. It's rough making this work. I assuming you guys couldn't make it work earlier during the day. You guys are busy working.
Yep. Well, I was. I don't know what Adam does all day. He plays around on his phone.
No, I do that at night. I do that all at night. You know that. You know that. That's all at night.
Right on.
So-
Well, I think
so
we can
how-
jump
we're
right
gonna-
into it. Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead.
we can do all the intros later, right, or something like that. Or what are we gonna do about that?
I usually just let text overlay it. We can just record the show and then text overlay it.
Okay.
Introduce
All right. Maybe
it.
you and me will do some stupid intro after that.
Sure, sounds good. We can record one in the morning.
Yeah. Or tonight after this. Okay. Cool.
Cool.
Let's tear into it. I'm sure you
Well,
got it all lined up.
Let's start by having you guys introduce yourselves to the audience. If I did this right, they'll be able to see you more than they'll even be able to see us.
Yeah. Well,
More,
let me just get my partner David over here.
Sure.
So I'm nice to officially introduce ourselves. I'm Javier from Resin Seeds, Mr. Nice, and CBD Crew. And then this is my boy David from Weed Map Spain.
Yeah. Hello.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Hey, man.
Can you hear David?
Yeah, you will hear me.
Okay.
I barely hear you.
Yeah, we hear
All right.
David good.
All right,
So-
yeah, because I had to put on the headphones, otherwise I wasn't able to hear you guys. But as soon as it's David's turn, then I'll give him the headphones and he can hear you guys a little bit more clearly.
Cool. Well,
Sounds good.
so we got these two guys together, Adam, because we were going to do a show on cannabis in Spain. So I figured we got to cover the genetics angle. David obviously knows the social club angle better than anybody because that's his business. And then, of course, while we're talking genetics in Spain, we got to talk with Javi about Project CBD and everything that's
Yeah.
going on there. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sounds like a great show.
All right.
Yeah, Adam. So I guess we have a few friends in common in the business, in particular Jaime and Shanti.
Many. I'm sure many more too. I thought this show could go in any direction. I was like, ooh, yeah, this could go
Yes.
anywhere. This could be a fun one.
Absolutely. By the way, was Shanti ever able to make it onto the show for you guys?
No, not yet.
I failed
No,
at
no.
lining that up. I got to take full responsibility for not doing that yet.
Okay, well,
This is
yeah,
sort
let
of
me-
our starter. We'll test it with you, see what he thinks,
Boom,
what you
boom.
think of this.
well,
He said
I mean,
he was definitely down to do it, but we just haven't really followed through on it.
exactly.
In classic Adam Dunn show style.
Well, I mean, it's all good. We know the business, so yeah.
Yeah, no, we love having things on the back burner too, because for us it's like, okay, we don't want to burn out all the stories right out the gate. You know what I mean? We'll keep them rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. We're here to keep the masses, in tune. So at least you'll have them to look forward to something.
So how was the aftermath of
Spannabis was
yeah,
Spannabis was pretty
exactly.
crazy over here. We just had Spannabis. I think it was like the 12th or the 13th edition that they've had over here. It's one of the world's biggest cannabis expos, and
How many people?
I think there was somewhere around 40,000 people, something like that. Around 30,000, 40,000 people. Which for Spain, that's a big deal. I mean, I know you guys
Yeah.
in the States.
So that's big. Even for here.
For Colorado, for Cali, you guys can have big numbers, but for us, it just gets bigger and bigger every year.
Also, people from other countries.
Exactly.
From
That's
Europe.
that's one of the biggest innovations that we've seen recently is that we have people coming from all over the world now. It's not just people who are really in the business, but it's just even fans. Just people fly in from all over the world just to come in.
Who doesn't want? Who doesn't want to go to Barcelona though? That's the
Well,
thing
I mean,
about it. It's like you're like, yes, I will definitely go to Barcelona. Yeah,
it's
for
definitely
sure.
an easy excuse. Barcelona is such an awesome city, and now
It is.
considering Barcelona is now the new cannabis capital of the world, it's no longer Amsterdam. To anyone who goes there regularly and who comes here can easily check it out. I mean, we're called New Mecca regularly for a reason. You know, the scene is here. If you talk to some of the Americans who just came back from Spain, they'll go back and they'll tell you guys the herb game or the extract game on Spain is on point. Even competing with a lot of the Americans back home, and I know it's hard to hear it from the American public, but it is true. Just between the passion and the
well, the key is it's like it's set in the setting. You know, like when you're in California smoking a joint, just like anybody from anywhere in the world, if they go to the right spot, they're sitting there smoking a joint, and they're like, "This is so awesome! It smells great in the air." You know, in Barcelona, it's all about. It's the same thing. It has that beautiful vibe. And
there's always that extra effect, like you say, of set and setting.
Food,
Absolutely,
the food and stuff, and the quality of the food, and the quality of the people and stuff. So it is like, you know, for sure. I mean, that's like before I moved here, I spent about 6 months in Barcelona, but I was mostly kind of planning on coming back and forth between here and there, and it was it's definitely the easy place to fall in love with. That's for sure. I had no problems.
Oh, Barcelona is definitely a wonderful place to be and to come back and visit. So yeah, we're definitely looking to to having you guys over here. Now there's a huge population seed bank explosion. Everyone's just trying to jump in the game. There's still a lot of gray areas that need to be covered. The cannabis club model is still kind of in a gray area. My buddy David will talk to you guys about that. But as far as the seed bank business goes, a large percentage of the European seed banks are moving their shop over here. Seeds are being produced here. Seeds are being sold from here. And,
Amsterdam's terrible right now as far as their.
Oh, I mean, you can't really sell seed there. You know.
No. They made it impossible. They really made it literally impossible to not break the law and possibly make any possible money.
So I'm curious if Spain, Barcelona in specific, Spain in general, is becoming sort of that new area where people are traveling from to buy seed from all over the continent. It used to be that's what Amsterdam was. If anyone in Europe, Asia needed seeds, you go to Amsterdam. Is obviously not that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Here yet.
I mean, I remember I went to school in South Florida in the late '90s, and when I came over here backpacking, I had all my buddies ask me to stop by Amsterdam and pick up seeds for them because it was the only place to do it or get it. But now, no. Actually, Spannabis is kind of the thing that started it all because it was the original kind of seed trade share spot, and then from there it's grown into the whole cannabis sector community in general. It's not only about seeds, but yeah, man, people will come in here, and also because we have Morocco so close, and there's a lot of people who are going to make a quick buck and cash cropping over there, making hash, helping that community improve their products. So now you see very, very good ice hash coming out of Morocco. You see incredible dry sifts no longer made by Moroccans, but made by Europeans who have expertise. So there's people who really need a large amount of seed. The same way that you guys might be making your legal crops in Cali or in Colorado.
These aren't going to be your $10 a seed, $20 a seed, American style seeds. You're selling these, I'm sure, in bulk on the cheap, right?
Yeah, these are people who are asking anywhere between 10 or 100,000 seeds. So yeah, the prices are still reduced, but we're still using the same European genetics. Fortunately, we just have access to large amounts of bulk quantity, and we're able to make it affordable for these people to bring superior genetics to to the traditional farmers. So
this brings up two questions. I mean, I'm curious about the genetics specifically that you guys are working with, and I definitely want the audience to know about that. But Adam and I always have this thing is like the back and forth of when we're bringing our genetics to these traditional regions. Yeah, we're definitely, there's no doubt, improving their local, very individual performance. But we may, on the other hand, be cross-pollinating an entire gene pool and like losing a pure genetic pool of cannabis. Well, and to some extent, it's already happened, right? Like we don't know if there's any
this is already kind of like a very heated and extensive debate that's been in the past. If you look at what companies like Greenhouse do, I mean, you see the videos, and it's pretty fair to see that they're doing exactly what you just said. I mean, they're going and they're taking their Dutch genetics and they're enticing farmers for to replace their old traditional crops. And in those places, with some of these big seed banks doing this kind of thing, you may see that. But we're in Morocco, in the top of the mountains up there in the valley. There's kind of like a free for all. The problem is that not all families grow in the same style or grow in the same way, and they don't have necessarily any loyalty. They're just looking for the best conditions for their family from year to year. And also, in general, if you're talking about very specifically Moroccan landrace strains, that's not necessarily a gene pool that we're really worried. Exactly. I mean, that's not something that we're worried about diluting. So
it's not even like it's definitely not the thing you want to worry about.
No, I mean, and maybe other countries, India, Nepal, or maybe even like more exotic places, Tajikistan or Kashmir, or some of these places you might worry more about this kind of thing happening. But in Morocco, where for the last 10 or 20 years it's all been Paki or Jamaican or Mexican. And then recently you have Dutch strains coming in. So like these farmers, when they have these Dutch strains coming in that are adapted to their climate, they're definitely seeing their crop value increase. So and now with the demand for CBD, it's actually interesting for us where traditionally hash from these countries has been kind of rich in CBD anyway. Well, now they're making a concerted effort to use CBD rich strains to take there to Morocco. And then just to come back with guaranteed, surefire one hash, and not just hash that might have CBD in who knows what amount. So.
And is that selling for more? Or how is that the market receive that? Is that a separate market or just?
Well, I mean, that's not part of our model or our interest or worry. We just kind of supply the seed to the farmer or to anyone who's interested in having it, and then they kind of will do with it as they wish. If I had to speculate. Then yeah, a large part of this is going to get shipped back into Europe, who knows what they're going to do with it. But there is a demand for seed, and it's not just for local growers, and it's not just for legal setups, but it's for massive ops all over the world. So our genetics are definitely being requested world over.
And now, are there like retail seed? Like, do you guys have a storefront where people can go in and buy seed, or they got to buy it at a club?
Well, here in seed is legal to sell inside of Europe, so we can sell our seed legally. We have a shop, resinseeds.net. We just recently went live to sell our seed legally within Europe. We also have plans to be producing our seeds stateside. In Colorado in particular, some of the same guys that you guys might actually know about, we might talk about off camera. So hopefully we have a plan to start having resin seeds available in Colorado State soon. And then from there that can extend over to Cali into Washington State as well. That'll be really big for us because Canatonic in general and getting into strains, but I guess stateside, some of our genetics, Resin Seed, as the founder of the CBD movement back in 2008. We can lay claim to this fame with our Canatonic, and I know it's a very heavily requested genetic over there. We've not been able to supply directly. A lot of people have to rely on getting cuttings of ACDC or buying hybrids of crosses of ACDC or now Avidecal as well, which is a select phenotype of Z series in the States. Is a Canatonic hybrid as well. So both Avidecal out of Israel and ACDC out of the States are traceable back to our Canatonic, and so we hope to be making a big splash and a big impact over there stateside pretty soon.
It's definitely a highly sought after line. There's no doubt about
it. It's very well known.
Very well known. It's one of the basic CBD lines that
it's the one
you need to have.
Absolutely, and if you look at our history, we in 2008 Canatonic won third place in Amsterdam High Times Cannabis Cup, and it wasn't until
because it didn't win for CBD.
No, it won for sativa category. Back then, people didn't even know what to classify, And then in 2013, we took third place again, I believe, in Amsterdam in the High Times Cannabis Cup again for the sativa category with Diesel Tonic, which is a Canatonic by New York City Diesel from Soma. And we also, so we took another And then in that same 2013, they started a CBD category. Someone else entered Canatonic, and that took first place in the same 2013 Cannabis Cup of Amsterdam. So it's a highly heralded strain, and now that we're able to prove that both the famous Tikkun Olam Avidekal strain in Israel and the select ACDC cutting in the States are directly traceable back to our Canatonic. We expect a lot more things from this genetics, absolutely. One of the curious things is the debate of how CBD really took over the U.S. market, and there's a lot of strains that try to lay claim to the same fame, but Harlequin came out 2010, right?
Canatonic was the first CBD strain that I encountered in Colorado, for sure. And then Harlequin was the second, and then the Tsunami Harley Sue, Sour Sue, and all that.
And all these processes. And it's funny because if you look, there's a High Times article that just came out, at least it's published online, and they have a genetic map tracing the lineage of both Canatonic and Harlequin beside it. And it's curious to see that although our lineage is traceable back to other strains. It'll tell you MK Ultra. It'll tell you G13 Haze. On the Harlequin side, it's very vague. It just says Colombian or Thai or Mexican. And if you're a breeder, you know that when you talk vague like that generally means that you're trying to hide something. So there's
what we call like a TAM, like it's a Thai, African, Mexican, something.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever.
Very vague.
So we try to avoid that. If you look at, for example, Mr. Nice, who are some of the and his genetics of Shanti Baba's genetics, they try to be very clear with the code that they use, so everything can be traceable back to a certain plant. We're going to be introducing some really interesting genetics now that we've obtained from the south of Holland, the C5, A5, the old school AG13. So we've been able to obtain some of these old school cuttings that Neville himself discovered back in the 80s and 90s, and we're helping to incorporate that into our new seed lines as well. So there's a lot of cool genetics, but Canatonic, as far as the CBD game goes, we can definitely say it's one of the ones that it definitely started the movement. So we're freely admitting, or at least labeling ourselves as the founders of the CBD movement.
When you guys made Canatonic, were you breeding for CBD at the time, or you guys were just working on a breeding project, thought it was a cool cross, and oh my god, this one has CBD?
Yeah, that's a good question. No, it was kind of an accident. That traditionally breeders have been straying away from CBD for its antipsychotic properties and its ability to mitigate or reduce the high. Traditionally, we were all recreational users. So, traditionally it was all bred away, and we discovered it by accident, that in this line we had almost the same amount of CBD as we did THC. And this was a massive discovery. Then going back and researching and talking with people like Dr. Mekalam in Israel or Dr. William Courtney in the States. And then here in Spain, Dr. Manuel Guzman, who's the scientist responsible for discovering that THC can cause apoptosis in cancer cells. So having these people verify the importance of CBD in our genetics, then is when we started to really take note of, like, shit, we got something on our hands and we have to do something with it. All of this eventually leads to what is now the CBD Crew, which is a joint collaboration between Resin Seeds and Mr. Nice Seeds. And there we're able to offer high CBD in every single one of our seeds as well. So that's definitely a big thing. As a result of carrying such high CBD genetics, we've able to start working and collaborating with other seed banks. So now I think the number is officially set at 15. CBD Crew is producing seed for 15 of the world's most reputable seed banks, including TH Seeds, including Positronics, Barney's Farm, DNA Genetics, and now even Greenhouse, which was for a long time a company that wasn't very happy dealing with Mr. Nice directly. So in a way, you can say that CBD Crew has cornered the CBD market, and it's not because of any specific reason or a monopoly that we want to impose. but people realize that if they want to guarantee that every single seed that they sell has the CBD-rich marker, which we consider beginning at 4%, then the CBD crew are the only people who can really guarantee that. So basically, a participating seed bank would give us their highest THC producing mother. We'd take that, and after about 9 months to a year of work, we'd return seed to them, and their own packet would just have the CBD crew hologram as well. So that's our official seal of approval that the seeds that you're receiving from this other seed bank can have the same guarantee as the seeds that we produce at CBD Crew. We now have like around 10 or 11 genetics, 3 of which are regular, including now CBD therapy, which is infeminized only, but it's the first seed in the world where every single seed is high CBD and low THC. Every single seed that comes out of a packet is going to be around 20 to 25 to 30 to 1 CBD to THC.
And how many did you run to test that? Obviously, huge population.
Yeah,
making that claim just flat out.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have some of these PDFs available. That's one of the things that I think sets our company apart, is that we have the lab work of 8 years that help us get to the point where we are today, when we were breeding with just normal strains, and then to get it stable where every single seed can produce these numbers. We have the test results to back it up from Fundación Cana, which is here in Spain, the only reputable lab, actually one of the only reputable labs in Europe. So yeah.
You touched on something interesting there that I wanted to go back to. So it was really early on where you were reaching out to the medical community to get this verification that CBD is of some value to you. I imagine that early on, was it difficult? What was the response like? Did you have to convince any people when you're trying to approach medical professionals and saying, hey, we make cannabis seed. Traditionally, we don't do anything really medical, but what's up?
This is kind of a weird position that we found ourselves in. We have access to a special plant that can empower people to make their own special medicine at home. And what happened was that there was a lot of vague scientific literature, or at least there was stuff that was maybe tested on laboratory mice, and still it was very inaccessible to most people. Slowly, media coverage starts, and there's being more and more interest in CBD, where now we actually have the opposite, where we have people who come to us.
Oh, I'm sure now, yeah. But in the beginning,
in the beginning, it was just more about empowering people, and that's always kind of our plan from the beginning. It was never really our intention to go to big business and say, this is what we have. Let's sell out. Take everything that's ours and just make it massive and profitable. From the very beginning, the idea is in the same way that Adam has with selling his seed, is just sell seed to the end user and let them make the best medicine that they have at home. So it wasn't so much of a thing of having to convince people that we had, or at least convince business that they should listen to us. It was more a matter of getting the information out to the public and getting them to know that CBD is actually the medicine that they should be looking for. For example, in my opinion and my experience, there's been a lot of misinformation as to what the proper ratios or proper cannabinoid profile should be for treating certain illnesses or diseases. And now it's beginning to be a little bit more evident, but still there's a lot of ignorance. In our general
lay some of that out, because it's something we've covered on the show before, but obviously more opinions and more experience, the better.
It's one of the first questions that people have to also as patients, because it's one of those, like, you kind of have to know by experience, in my opinion, but at the same time, it is nice to have a sort of an idea of like what side of the fence we want to be on.
Well, when we try to get this information from doctors who either who work with the cannabis plant or medical researchers who work with the medical plant, the cannabis plant, they can only give us what they think are best ratios or numbers. So if you talk to a doctor, I mean, he might have experience with laboratory mice. And if you're an old lady and you ask him, well, I have back pain, he'll say, well, you know, vaguely try 50 milligrams of CBD, but that's completely vague and incoherent, and it's not necessarily reliable or adaptable to each person. So our experience has shown us something over the last few years. Jaime, who is the owner of Resin Seeds, is also the owner of Resin Club here in Spain. Resin Club is the second club to open here in Spain, in Barcelona. And just a little bit, when my buddy takes over, he'll tell you all about the scene and how it works here. But through Resin Club, having Resin Seeds and Resin Club has kind of been a facilitator for a lot of our testing. When we have a new strain and we want to release it, well, boom, we just take it to the Cannabis Social Club. We have our private members kind of sample and experience. And then through our medicinal strains, people have been giving us their feedback as well. Our medical strains have then been converted into medicinal oils, and people have been giving us their feedback as well. So you can say that pretty consistently for the last few years, in one way or another, all of this feedback has gathered back up, and then all the medical investigators and scientists who are backing this information up eventually are using our strains. Eventually they come to us and we collaborate with them. So we kind of have now a network of both doctors and people who have used the plant and used the strain, and scientists who can kind of put it all together for us. So we have a nice summary, I guess, of our experiences. So let me get into it as fast as possible for you guys.
Take your time. You got plenty of time, bro. We got at least,
awesome,
at least another half hour together.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. One of the biggest things that we've seen, the biggest successes, is anything that works around a near 1-to-1 ratio of THC to CBD. This now is more common knowledge than it was in the past. In general, there's still a lot of work to be done. If it's 3-1, if it's 1-3, this is oftentimes going to be person dependent and illness dependent.
Sure.
But in general, this 1-to-1 ratio, I've seen drastic results for. The thing is, there's a lot of misinformation with CBD, right? So there's a lot of people who want pure CBD oil. And not getting into the debate, which is a whole other conversation. I'd fill you in on the difference between CBD derived from hemp as opposed to from CBD-rich cannabis.
Well, let's go on that right now. Actually, I'll pull you right into that. Even if you want to
that's
skip
fine.
Around it.
That's fine. We can talk about that, sure, man. There's a lot of people demanding pure CBD oil, and the reason that we're seeing that people want pure CBD oil is not because it's the most medicinal, but because it's legal. Right. And that's a whole can of worms that people open and then they don't realize that they're getting into, because if it's truly someone's best interest at stake, there's a lot of misinformation which is mucking around, and there's a lot of people who are greedy and are trying to make a buck, and who are not doing it the proper way. If you're ingesting CBD oil that's derived from hemp, you're really essentially no better off as you were just eating hemp seed oil, or as if you're taking, interesting amounts of coconut oil or olive oil. It's good for you. It's not bad for you, but will it help you as well as a properly made oil from CBD-rich cannabis? Doubtful. There's a lot of reasons for it. In part, Dr. Ethan Russo touches on this the most with the entourage effect. The same cannabinoids and terpenes are not found in hemp as they are in cannabis. And now with our genetics, CBD therapy, and even some bright young guys in Colorado I know are doing interesting things with cherry CBD and these kinds of stuff. You're able to find 30, 40 to 1 plants where basically they're testing under federal guidelines for THC. So you can have entire massive crops of cannabis plants, and they test as hemp. They're not hemp, they're cannabis plants with all the accompanying terpenes and cannabinoids. And that's a realistic medicine, and that's something that's going to be useful for people. Either way, though, this is one of the things that I want to touch up on. This pure CBD oil, even if it's sourced from cannabis or hemp, unless you're a child with moderate to slightly severe epilepsy or autism, there's really no real reason for a person to be medicating with pure CBD. If a child is suffering from epilepsy or autism, pure CBD may be a suitable alternative because you will want to avoid the high accompanied by the one-to-one, which there will be always, even if the one-to-one is balanced. There's still going to be a high, or if you go just slightly above a dose, a person may feel this high. So you think for a child, the pure CBD is better, but the problem is if the epilepsy is severe or it's terminal, you go directly to the one-to-one. So the pure CBD oil applications are limited to play. There's not many places where you can only just use pure CBD.
Now,
maybe
I mean, in my experience, I 100% agree. Always start at a one-to-one. But now, when you get someone who says, "Well, I really," and I push that so hard, especially if someone is a situation with cancer or something where we need to introduce THC, and I want to work them up to a 2-to-1 THC. That's where and I want to get your opinion on that as well. But if there's someone who has no experience and they have to develop a tolerance, I'll prescribe some sort of like sleep training regimen where I'll say, okay, eat a bunch before you go to bed and plan to sleep late, and then get your tolerance up. So then, if I'm having them eat 10 milligrams every night, I know I can have them eat 5 milligrams during the day, and they really won't feel it that much.
Absolutely. I mean, you definitely want to titrate up as quickly as possible, but we're also talking about microdosing now as one of the most efficient ways.
That's what I was going to ask. Can you do like a 50-to-1 CBD to THC and have that THC have the desired effect in a cancer situation?
Probably not. Probably not. It might be an interesting way to introduce cannabinoids into the system, at least during the daytime.
Sure.
But we're seeing that the CBD won't be uptaken into the receptors if it's not accompanied by a minimal amount of THC.
Right.
So there are other ways to reach this high marker without having a person necessarily suffer too badly from the side effects. So as you say, for example, eating well and sleeping well, and then having the first dose before they go to sleep, that's something that's interesting. But there's also ways of counteracting the high. We're working now with suppositories, which can bypass the first blast into the bloodstream. This will reduce the high around up to 80%. So already working with a 1-to-1 strain, this is something that's extremely interesting, in particular for people with prostate cancer, colon cancer, ovarian cancer, and then even for some women with breast cancer, a vaginal suppository could still be very effective in helping stopping the metastasis. That's one of the most interesting things about having a high amount of CBD. A purely CBD-rich THC strain, or like a 4-to-1 or 5-to-1, that's always interesting, but the more CBD you have, the stronger the ability for stopping cancer growth, or at least for it to spread. But there is
to check in on that, and the important thing about the combo basically on cancer is, right, like CBD will keep it from going anywhere, but it's not going to kill what's there. THC on its own can't keep it from going anywhere, but it will kill what's there.
Well, in the THC will help program the cell to kill itself. But it's not just as simple as saying the THC will find all cancer cells and kill them all, and the CBD will stop them from getting anywhere. One thing that I want to be clear on, and in the States, a lot of the Facebook pages and social media, and this is where a massive amount of people are getting their information regarding treating their own cancer. There's a huge amount of misinformation there. In 99% of people who I'll talk to will say that you have to completely avoid chemotherapy, for example. Right. And this is a crazy misconception. You can just not say that. Number one, none of us are doctors or scientists who are in this game, in the cannabis game, right? So, but the people who are doctors and scientists who we collaborate with, they will tell you that actually the best results are found with a combination of 1,1 oil and a very particular type of chemotherapy. It's called TMZ. I can get you the name of it right. I don't know it offhand. But the very best.
Not a very good name for America, though. TMZ.
TMZ, no, not that one. I know exactly. So no, it's temazolapide or something. I'd be just making it up, but I know I have it written down somewhere. But yeah, it's the concept is to attack the cancer cells from multiple angles. It's not just giving cannabis oil, it's not just chemo, and it's not just a healthy diet, it's not just a positive attitude. It's trying to do everything. And then ingesting it in multiple ways, subliminally ingesting suppositories, topically if it's available, and even vaporizing. We see people with with lung cancer who benefit greatly from vaporizing the cannabis soil. Even some reports of people coughing out the tumor.
Really?
So yeah, encouraging
That's
coughing. Yeah, encouraging coughing can be an interesting thing sometimes. So yeah, just touching up in general, one-to-one oil for the majority of people, whether it be pain or general immune system problems or neurodegenerative disorders. One-to-one strains will work best. With really old people who want to avoid the high, there are ways of dosing them, microdosing them, or using suppositories so that they don't necessarily have to feel this high. And we think that this will be a better alternative than working with just the pure CBD oil. And I think the pure CBD oil is better suited either as an introduction or as an addition to a general cannabinoid therapy that's more inclusive of all cannabinoids and not just so selective.
So a couple things I wanted to touch on there. First, as you just said, all cannabinoids. Are you guys doing any work looking for CBG, THCV, any of the other sort of interesting, promising compounds in your research
CBG,
and breeding?
CBG in particular is something that we always keep an eye out on because this is a precursor to other cannabinoids. So in breeding projects, even in veg, we look for high CBG to then be able to continue culling plants as we see fit. And then for THCV, this is something that we do see in some strains. It's a lot more limited, but we don't necessarily work towards breeding that. We see more interested in actually maybe considering even finding the process to have high CBN oils, right? So we can play with that for sleep therapy, as you mentioned before. But in general, our focus will be more on the traditional cannabinoids and the ratios, and then accompanying terpenes and having because that's where we see the strongest medicinal benefit.
Absolutely, with the combination.
The synergy, absolutely. Yeah.
So the quick question then, first, what kind of oil are we talking about? What kind of extraction are you generally recommending to people? Obviously, you're saying people do it at home, which is what makes the most sense when it's a plant-based medicine. So what kind of extraction method do you recommend?
Well, this is kind of a tricky subject as well because people traditionally talk about cannabis oil and the food grade ethanol. I guess in this case would be the best and the most common route to go. But there are other alternatives which may be suitable. Coconut oil extract might work. We have reports of people using ultrasonicators, which are used to clean jewelry, and MCT oil, which is basically a refined coconut oil to strip cannabinoids and have a THCA oil, which is actually very efficient in treating epilepsy as well. There's a misconception there. It's not only CBD which will stop epilepsy, THCA will also stop it as well.
Right.
Coconut oil is for one, my personal preference for its ability to pull a high ratio of cannabinoids. Olive oil works well, but traditionally, what I like to do, or what I see the best results, it is making stripping the plant of its resin using. Actually, you can use anything as a starter. You can even use just a dry sift or ice hash. But if you're just going to be using the flour, then yes, traditional food grade ethanol, quick washes, winterizing, and then distilling. This is kind of a complicated process to a beginner, but once they see the steps, it's not so overwhelming anymore. And it's something that's a little bit dangerous, but can be done at home pretty safely if some precautions are done. And then once this oil is distilled, then you proceed to decarb in the oven. Temperatures will vary depending on cannabinoids, if you have a THC or if you have a CBD oil or a one-to-one oil. And then, once it's fully decarbed in the oven, then from there, this oil is extremely versatile because you can either apply topically, you can smoke it, you can dab it if you pulled no chlorophyll, and then you can actually put it in a capsule. You can swallow it. You can dilute it in MCT oil and take it sublingually, or you can cut it with cacao butter and coconut oil and make suppositories as well. So the actual cannabis oil is for me one of the most versatile medicines.
So I guess I want to kind of use that to segue. You know, people can make this medicine at home in Spain because they can grow legally there. Is it legal to grow at home privately?
Well, people, I guess, anywhere in the world, this is our objective. Whether it's legal or not, we don't care, because we're promoting people to have a few plants in their own home and to make their own medicine in their own home, regardless of the laws of their country. Our intention is for people to be empowered. So yeah, the idea is for them just to have enough plants, and to give them the information whether they can make the oil safely at home, and then introduce them to the literature that can kind of back up some of the claims that we make, and then hopefully, when possible, put them in touch with doctors who might be able to to follow up their own treatment. But yeah, the idea is for people to get the seeds, grow the plant. Make the oil themselves, and then appropriately dose. So it's not something that really concerns us on how legal it is, because a lot of these people are in terminal situations, and they can't afford So here in Spain, for example, it is. Well, this is kind of a gray area, and in just a moment I'll hand over to David, and he can talk about.
That's why I was bringing it up, to start to segue
Exactly.
over to
Exactly.
David. But I was just going to check in with Adam. Adam, should we do shout-outs?
No.
No? Are you awake? Are you falling asleep?
Almost. No, totally. Sure, let's do them. Let's do the shout-outs.
All right, you guys hang out with us for a couple seconds while we shout out the sponsors?
Absolutely, man. Let's do some shout-outs.
Cool. All right, Adam, way to grow. Do it.
Way
Sleepy
to grow.
way to grow.
Sleepy way to grow. I know, I was like falling asleep, but no, way to grow. Keeps it going. 7 locations all over town. My favorite, Platte River, of course. Concentrate corner there to pick up all your gear. I think you can get gear at other shops, but that's your spot to get all of everything you need. And right now they're doing, what's their latest sale?
25% off all Canna nutrients, 30% off the Canna boost, $16.99 for the Canna Cocoa 50 liter.
Sounds good to me.
It sounds good to me too. And of course, when you go there, don't forget to drop Adam Dunn Show as you check out.
And grab some candy.
Of course.
For the kids.
Big shout out to Incredibles. Our favorite candy now in California as well. That's the big news on Incredibles, I heard. Did you see that?
I did see that. That's
so
great.
Now we can officially say the best
West Side, I guess. I don't know.
In the country? The best? I don't know. We got to find the official thing. But yes,
it's hard to
Incredibles Edibles, our favorite edible, now available in Colorado and California, medically and recreationally. The best flavors. Still, Adam, you got to find some black cherry CBD. They got to do a black cherry CBD bar that we should be eating for this conversation.
I wish I wouldn't be. I guess I would be sleeping even worse, but I'd be. No, yeah, definitely. Yeah, exactly. It tasted me in my mouth better, that's for sure. Right now, it's just it's Elysian space dust. It's not tasting.
Oh, it tastes terrible.
Terrible.
Oh, terrible.
All hoppy.
All hoppy at night, and you got like burnt, disgusting. Not taste as good as Incredibles is the main thing. It doesn't taste as good as Incredibles. It's not possible. And big shout out to Build the Soil. I was just talking to Jeremy today. I think
you did
do
actually.
a Build the Soil episode in the near future.
Oh, did you tell him the challenge?
I didn't tell him the challenge. Shit,
oh, man. Oh, my God. Okay.
All right, I'll tell him the challenge.
Give a story about tell him about
the challenge is we just have
not challenge. Tell him about Build the Soil.
Tell him about Build the Soil. Build the Soil is our favorite, our favorite source for organic amendments, organic information. BuildTheSoil.com. They are by far the most prolific in recent years resource for just the hard to source organic components and the obscure organic information, and they put a lot of people on the coconut water, a lot of people onto the aloe vera,
probiotic stuff,
all sorts of the goodies that are hot right now, all at buildthesoil.com. of course, big shout out to our buddies, Dark Horse Genetics, where I gotta
those
be.
guys.
I gotta be in like 6 hours.
Oh man, you're gonna get down there.
I gotta get to sleep and then drive through the snow.
I saw some
first.
terp sauce coming out of that spot.
Yeah, we're building a little bit of reputation for the concentrates.
See
Time
people
sold out
posting
in
flavor.
11 seconds.
11 seconds,
11
really?
seconds? That's what was said. Time sold out in 11 seconds.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, so get them if you can. Dark Horse Concentrates. Ask for them at your dispensary. We're making more as fast as we can, and we're putting them out there.
You have 11 seconds to buy anything. There.
You just be there. Ask how much. You want to know what? Here's what I'll
Sorry.
say. If you're an
Yep.
Adam Dunn Show fan, friend me on
Yep.
Facebook, and then I'll say where I'm going to drop before I even go there, and you'll know. Boom. You can be there. You can be there for the 11 seconds. You can be part of that 11 seconds of glory and get some turf sauce. And of course, big shout out to our new sponsors, Growstone, bringing us last week's episode, and will soon to bring us the Build the Soil Organic versus Hydro battle.
Oh my, that's gonna be crazy.
You're so excited for
That's gonna be so good. I can't wait.
It's going to be good.
So,
I felt last week was there. I was impressed with their scientist. I trust.
no,
their
she was
product.
cool. No, definitely
You
cool.
rocking the Growstones?
No, they haven't given. I'm not gonna go buy
We
it.
gotta get them. We gotta get
Gotta
them.
Grow stones. Where's the grow stones?
Of course, along with that, what you are rocking, the Veg and Bloom. Big shout out to Veg and Bloom. Holding us
Yeah.
down here. Adam's running on it and very pleased with the results. Why don't you tell everyone?
So far, and I'm at the magic time. I'm literally at that 4.5 week period where, when things are going good, that it's the best time ever, and that's where I'm at right now. So I'm like, okay, so far so good. Everything's rolling.
All right.
And it's the material coming out. It looks really good, and the good part is that every time we smoke Joe's weed, it's like on point, and everybody.
It does great stuff,
That-
and it's so fucking. How simple is it, Adam? It seems
That's
like
the pro-
too simple.
that is
Like
the problem.
Don't want
That is the
you
problem.
want to do more, right? You want to do more.
That is the problem. There's, the simpleness is like an issue. I'm like, wow. Ace and I are both like, kind of like, what do we do? Nothing. All right, that's it. I was like, that was easy.
You just scoop it and mix it in like that, and it's done. One thing.
Pretty much. But, the key to, we pre-agitate as much as possible, because that's like our little pet peeve is that it gets to the bottom, like we get a little 1/10 at the bottom of the reservoir,
Yeah.
So that shit is like,
And do you?
So I feel agitated.
And are you using the recommended feeding schedule, or using the Sage Master schedule?
Slight adjustments along the way, but
Sure.
yeah. No, it's all. The thing is that it's like EC meter driven in the beginning,
Sure.
and then all additives on top, and all things that don't affect, like a lot of the organic stuff that doesn't affect any kind of EC levels or anything like that. That's what, throw that on top.
So then on top. Good.
Throw it on top. Throw it on top.
All right. How about we get back to these guys who are waiting to talk to us in Spain?
Sure,
They're having a good time off camera.
They're drinking coffee. We're drinking beer. That's the
Yeah,
difference.
I'm not even drinking anything.
We're drinking coffee over here, man, for sure.
I'm drinking beer. You're not.
I'm taking bong hits.
We're smoking though, wake and bake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing dab and I'm drinking beer. So.
That's why you sound like that.
Yep, that's why I sound like that. And I'm on my phone, and everyone's sleeping around me right now.
Oh, everyone's sleeping around me too.
I'm
In total
so
dad mode.
in like secret dab mode in the kitchen.
Sound like you're in the kitchen, totally. All right, cool.
I am in the kitchen.
Well, on that note, let's get back from the kitchen to Spain, and let's pass the mic over to David to talk about the social club scene.
Absolutely, man. Just want to say goodbye. Thank you for your time, guys.
I want to have you back on too, Javi, when we close. Say goodbye to you proper too.
Yeah, you know what, man? I'm gonna take off. I have a newborn at home.
Oh, congratulations, dude! Hell
Yes,
yeah.
man.
Go
She's
do that.
she's 6 months old, so I'm gonna get back to her. Valentina She was born on 7/10, so she's gonna be a stoner. So yeah, I'm gonna get back to the baby and to the family. But I'll definitely be back on at any time. I would love to have you guys. It'll be easy for me to jump on, even if it's just 5 minutes, whenever you guys want, and talk some more.
Wonderful.
So
thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for all the work you do, man.
My pleasure. From Resin Seeds, Barcelona, Spain. Thank you very much, guys. I'll hand it over now to my buddy David, who works with Weed Maps here in Spain. And yeah, this guy's going to talk to you about the cannabis scene here in Barcelona. So bless up, Adam and Mitch. It was a pleasure, guys. Thanks a lot, man.
Peace.
All right, guys. Bless up.
Hey, thanks, Javier.
Hello. Hello.
David, what's going on, man?
Hey, David.
Good, man.
Welcome
Good,
to
man.
the show.
Thank you.
So, Weed Maps, obviously, we all know Weed Maps from the USA. You guys are, as a guy who has to sell things to dispensaries, you're my favorite guys, because I just go to your website and you have them all listed right there. It's very easy. So in Spain, you're focused only on the social club scene, or what do you do seed banks? What do you cover?
Yeah, well, we started here, as well as in the States, developing a map, where to place the associations, because, as Javi was telling you, here there's this gray area in which, the user can use cannabis. It's absolutely decriminalized. You're allowed to use cannabis in your private home. That's not a criminal offense at all. Then, developing this, and, merging it with the right to associate. But, there began to exist here cannabis associations, cannabis users associations, in which people, got together, got their communal crop, and then share it. So they could have like a safe and sure way to access to cannabis away from the black market. Saying this, what happens? People, needs to know where to find these associations, as well as people needs to know where to find cannabis dispensaries in California and Colorado. And then that's how it works. We put this map to people, so people know where these associations are, and that's how everything began. Also, we give to the associations here, we're giving them the management system, for them to control the members, to control their dispensaries. We give them their technological services. And we are also beginning to work with seed banks, with any legitimate and legal business related to cannabis. As Javi was telling, here in Europe, it's legal to sell seeds. It's legal to create a genetic, and then we are also working with them in order to also to professionalize the scene here, to make it a much better, much professional, much safe scene, and also to bring some of the knowledge from the States to bring it here, so people can get can build a better industry.
Sure. There's a lot of experience that we've had in the States, and definitely trial and error, and going through the laws and finding what works and what doesn't work, and I think that's the best way to start there, and then take it as far as you can take it. So how many clubs are there right now in Spain, or on Weed Map Spain?
Well, in Spain, we can say that there are about 1,000 clubs.
Wow, I thought there was like 20.
No, come on. There can be 20 in my neighborhood, it's like...
It's really like that. Okay, cool.
Yeah. There also, there are areas in which you will find like a large amount of clubs. For example, Barcelona, in the surrounding areas of Barcelona, Catalonia, the region of Catalonia has been flourishing with clubs, and also in Madrid, also in the Basque country, all the North country, also in the islands, the Canary Islands. You will find...
that you won't find them.
Yeah, exactly. Valencia, in every big city, you will find cannabis clubs. Also in little towns, people get together, as we were telling, it's associations of consumers, of previous consumers. Right. So you will find some clubs in every town, that of people that get together, that get a crop, and then people, what has happened here is that there's few people that know how to properly grow, that know how to give a proper medicine. So, for many, many people, it's a difficult thing to find this proper medicine, this proper, cannabis. And then, come on, using intelligence, come on, using our, our rights also, we developed a way to get, to get people access to a proper cannabis. For example, there's a lot of ill people, for example, or old people, for example, that doesn't have the skills to grow a proper cannabis.
Right.
So it's going to be much better for them to go to a cannabis club where they can find a proper flower, where they can find a proper extraction, where they can find things that are beginning to get lab tested with canna, with other laboratories that are beginning to start here in Spain. That's also one of the things that we are trying to push, that cannabis gets tested so people get to know what they are consuming. It's a matter also of bringing knowledge to the market.
So, on your note before about sort of learning from what we've learned here in Colorado, one of the things that we're dealing with right now in the grips of is pesticides. People applying pesticides that are with good reason, or in some cases maybe not with great reason, being banned. Stylet oil was a common one that we use for the powdery mildew, and it works real well. It's totally organic. That one just got banned, or as of 7 days from now, it's banned. And there's this rotating list. So are you guys looking at these pesticide issues at all? I know there's a general concern for it.
Yeah. We are also trying to push that, people, first of all, test their cannabis. To be honest, here's still a big lack of, professionalizing, the sector, and we are pushing people, we are teaching them so they know better what it's better for them, also for the consumer to ask to their clubs, so they test their cannabis. The moment there's a demand, people will have to deliver. And then we have to teach people what they have to ask for. We have to teach people where they can access this proper cannabis. That's also one of the ways that that Weedmaps is useful for the cannabis users, because people can review what they find in their clubs.
Absolutely.
So they get to know before they get into the clubs, what they will find, based on the reviews of the previous users.
Sure.
Exactly. Also, that's one of the ways, to get, the knowledge all together. Hopefully, here still there are like little crops. A lot of clubs have their own crops, little crops. A lot of people still grow soil organically. That's good. We are also pushing this organic, way.
Sure.
And but still we have to do a lot of work, getting people to test their cannabis, to look after not only pesticides, but also like any kind of metals, any kind of thing that can be get also in the cannabis. And not only talking about the flowers, also extractions, there's a lot of people beginning to do extractions, BHO, they have to purge it properly, they have to follow, paths, they have to use, proper tools, not only for the safety, because, there's been problems, but also because of they have to deliver proper medicine, on proper cannabis.
So, what's the pricing like there? Is there a membership structure? Is that how it works? People are members of these associations, or? Yeah,
you have to become member of every association, and every association usually has their own policy, but again, usually there are some federations that, that they are like proposing some standards, and mostly, a lot of them will ask you to come with a previous member, so you are introduced from a previous member. Also, you will have to pay a fee, an annual fee. Usually, if you're a medical user, you will find some of the clubs that will allow you to be member for free. You know, you won't have an annual fee, and then using your share of the crop, you will be able to take some cannabis. It's like it's an association in the end. It's like they have
so
like
the way it works is the crop is shared among all the members, and then
yeah.
everyone has their respective right to their portion of it. Is that basically it?
Exactly. It's
And
like then it's you have to for example, usually there's a credit system. You charge some credit in your members account,
sure.
and then with this credit you can, for example, take flowers, you can take a drink, you can take, because here there are associations, there are places where people get together to smoke together.
Sure.
It's not only dispensary. People
Yeah,
doesn't go.
people tell me the clubs there are like real clubs. That's
Exactly. You can even find live music, for example.
yeah.
You can find art expos. You can find like medical talks. You can find like yoga exercises and some.
Sure.
You can find all kinds of social activities. It's not only like. It's one of the nicest things. It's not only a cannabis only movement, but also an alternative movement.
Sure.
You will find all kind of alternatives like. Uh, Experiences in a cannabis club.
Sure. And as we always say, it's such a big important part of the healing. The social aspect is such an important part of the healing for sick people who are using this as medicine.
Exactly. Also, in many clubs you will find like doctors that will help people following their treatments. Here in Spain, still it's not allowed for doctors to encourage you to take cannabis. They cannot prescribe you cannabis, but they can follow you once you have taken your own decision of taking cannabis.
They can guide you once you. So it's
Exactly.
the opposite of here. Here, they just tell you take it and then they leave you. They never talk to you again. There, you decide you want to take it and they help you do it.
Exactly. That will be like, it's one of the different things. It's like a bit different.
Sure. I like that. And so, what about for like a tourist or someone? Many of these people that we're talking about that are coming from other areas, do they have access to the clubs, or how does that work?
Well, you will find many different policies. Me as a cannabis user that has gone like worldwide, also like I like to be able to access cannabis safely and in a proper way. And then I also believe that people, it's people. It's not because they are here like just for a little period of time they have less rights than me or than anybody.
Right.
So yeah, here, the law doesn't make any difference. Some clubs will make a difference, but as long as you are introduced with a person that is a member, as long as you have a temporary residence, like say for some days, here you will be able to be member to a cannabis club, and during your residence, you will be able to like consume cannabis in the club. And also like it's important to note that you are allowed to consume cannabis in the club, you are allowed to consume cannabis at home, privately.
Sure.
But then you have to like you're not allowed to even like walk in the streets with cannabis.
Sure, and I'm sure people do it, but it's not allowed.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, you have to
That's
like be
like
a little.
here, but what's crazy here is we don't even have clubs. We don't have clubs, and the doctor doesn't help you once he decides you want to use cannabis. You guys, as far as learning from us, you guys clearly took it and ran, took it way further than we had.
Yeah. I've heard it many times, and I think that that's one thing that you will soon be implementing because, come on, you guys are, it's natural, and hopefully we will like, introduce like the safe, that people that, for example, a doctor can tell you have to take cannabis, because also that will fade away a lot of fears of a lot of people that would benefit of taking cannabis and are not doing it just because the doctor is not safe, with this.
Here what we have so much is that the doctors don't give any information about the usage, or they have some really old information, and the people rely on the bud tender who's actually selling them the herb to know about it. And in some cases there's a really great deal of knowledge, but more often than not there's a lot of misinformation, and it's unfortunate in a lot of cases that people give up on it, that don't maybe it would work for them, but they got the wrong information and didn't have the right experience. Some people never even give it a chance.
Yeah.
They meet that person and the person doesn't have the right information. They go to 3-4 shops. They talk to people who don't sound like they know what they're talking about, and then they're like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
So, but it's cool there that the doctor can guide you.
Yeah.
All right. On this note, we are an hour into this recording, and it is 2:30 in the morning here. Adam is probably asleep. Adam, are you awake?
Yeah, I'm awake.
You're making
Half awake.
Half awake.
Half awake.
Well, we're gonna thank you for checking in on Spain. We're probably gonna want to continue this another time. Hopefully in
Yeah.
Spain, because there's 1,000. Did you know there was 1,000 clubs, Adam?
Yeah, come on, you have to come here to Barcelona.
Yeah. I mean, I knew there was at least 200 in Barcelona.
We've been
back
talking
in the
about
day.
it and kind of planning.
You know,
we didn't have any.
just invite.
We didn't have any connects there. Now we got some. So what we do? This is a
Well,
worthwhile time to do it.
we always had connects there.
We got more connects.
Uh-huh.
We have a growing network. So,
Of course.
but we do here. We do a private invite only cup, the ADSI.
Uh-huh.
We do it every April. It's 52 of the best growers we know, and we bring them together to compete. And we have this whole cool tournament, and they judge it. And you get these nice trophies, etc. We want to do it in Spain, but we don't know anyone who knows 52 great, really excellent, world-class growers. I figure between you guys, you probably do. So we should have a follow up.
Sure, perfect. You know, I will.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. It looks like a plan.
Right on. Well, man,
Sounds like a plan.
thank you so much for getting up early. We're staying up late. You're getting up early. Pain in the butt either way. Thanks for getting up early and joining us on the show. This is going to be posted live. Jesus, today, our time, in about this will be posted in about 10 hours, one way or another. But I'll reach out to Javi and I'll follow up with you, man. Thanks for your time.
Thank you to you, Adam. Thank you to you, to all the everybody.
Thanks, man. Thanks for coming on.
Definitely. Thank
If
you.
you wanna take a look at Barcelona,
Yeah.
here,
Give us a little location shot.
Yeah, that's here, that's Lenski, one of the that's the boss here.
Hey.
And here's our office. You see, we have a nice terrace.
I would say nothing less from Weed Maps. Those guys always have the best spots. And
They do. Weed maps.
they know what's up.
Yeah.
Those guys always have good locations. If you're in Barcelona, that's the beauty. That's the beauty when you're there. You're just like, it's such beautiful locations, and people have such good living life there.
Definitely good living life there. Adam, let's move operations to Barcelona, dude.
Okay.
All right, later, man. Thank you.
Peace. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, dude, let's move operations to Barcelona. Let's do it. Spain. I can speak a little Spanish. They all spoke English well, so that's great. Easy.
Yeah. A lot of ums in there. Can you edit all the ums out?
Nope.
Impossible.
No. I'll let you go to sleep. Do you want to do an outro? Shout-outs?
Should we do intro and outro or what?
No, I'm just going to upload this whole thing. I'm not going to do any editing.
No. Fuck it. All right. Later.
No, dude, do shout-outs. Shout-outs to your beautiful wife, Cece, sleeping upstairs. Go ahead.
She's not. No, she's not. She's not here.
She's not here.
All right. Ready?
Yeah, ready to go. Shout-outs. It's going. It's rolling.
Shout. No, you're gonna edit any of it? Or
Nothing. No.
No. Forget about it. No. Forget
Say
it.
You say it every week.
Oh, my phone fell down. My phone fell down.
What?
I'm drunk. Phone fell down.
Just say your shout-outs, dude. You do it every show. You can do this.
All right. Shout out to the beautiful wife, Cece, who is not here. She's at home with Nick, getting ready for this big blizzard that's about to come down on us. But
I don't know about that. I'm checking the weather.
I'm not too impressed. I don't believe it. We'll see. And no school tomorrow, but school on Thursday. I'll be back. And shout out to Ace down here at the farm where I'm at right now. Gonna try out all these new products.
Farm. This is live from the farm. Whoa.
Got some new products. Good shout out, like Mammoth out of Colorado. Got some samples to try. Looking like a really awesome product. I'm telling you, it's like it's weird.
How's it smell? Right, you go by the smell.
No, yeah, and I haven't popped the smell on this one, but literally the microbes are following me, dude. It's weird. They're coming to me. Microbes.
All the microbes.
Oh my god, I'm like microbe guy now. I got microbe life, and then I got mammoth, which is just all like other microbes, and I'm like, yeah, microbes on like you said. I hope they'll like neutralize each other. We'll see, but I doubt it. I mean, microbes love microbes, right?
We love
There's
microbes.
never,
We love
no,
microbes.
there's never like a microbe problem. There's never like, hey, you microbe, yo, microbe. No, I don't think so. No, anyway, microbe life, loving it. I'm loving it. I'm telling you, really good,
Good
good
stuff.
stuff.
Good
Yeah,
stuff, microbe life.
I'm getting them
So
on board.
it looks
Oh,
like.
and also seeds here now. Seeds here now.
Oh
Seeds here now.
shit! You're so right. Seeds here
Seeds
now.
here
Seeds
now.
here
Seeds
now.
now.
Seeds here
Seeds.
now. Seeds here now.
But you'll
Seeds here
play.
now.
You'll
Seeds here
you'll play
now.
their.
Seeds here
You're gonna
now.
play
Seeds
their
here now.
awesome. Yeah, awesome. They have their awesome commercial. You're gonna pop that right in there.
Yep.
Booyah! Booyah! Pop
No.
that in there. Yeah, yeah. Pop. Booyah!
Boo.
Pop it in there. Pop it in there.
Oh, seeds here now.
Seeds
Um,
here, fucking now.
And okay, shout out to my beautiful wife Reese and little kiddo Farron who's sleeping upstairs. Everybody at Dark Horse, so I'll see you in fucking 5.5 hours.
Fucking, fucking, fucking,
When I
fucking. All
when I drive through a
right.
blizzard. The blizzard's
Yeah,
not
okay.
gonna hit us, dude. Blizzard's gonna miss us. I'm looking at a map right now.
I thought so too. I don't believe it.
It's going east of Boulder and north of Denver. It's definitely not.
No.
It's in like Greeley.
Oh,
Greeley's getting stomped.
nice. I like to hear that. All right.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Peace out,
All right.
everyone. Thank you for listening to us. This is way too late for us to do a show. I think we've learned our lesson
Too,
here.
too late here and
But
too
it's gonna
early
be
there.
like Chris Kadash's favorite episode or something because we're all nice. Right?
And he'll pick up on it. He'll be like, "Those guys are like, I fell asleep 3 times." All right, good job, guys.
All right. See you
Peace.
guys on Friday. Peace.
Yeah.